almost there.
Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live. Welcome to Massive Iron Live. Welcome to Massive Iron Live. It's Friday. It's Friday. TGIF. Thank God, right? It's Friday, October 21st. Glad you guys are here. And hey, welcome. I'm tuning in with where is it? A scratch in my face. My dog, who's over there. Whoops, over there. Gets really jealous when I pet the other dogs. So he jumped up on my lap and bit my cheek yesterday. So we got a little bit of an injury, but I'll try to make it through Massive Iron Live today. All right, guys, I appreciate you joining me. If you're new here, don't be shy. Post up your questions. Post up as many questions as you want. Diet, training, nutrition, off topic, supplementation. If I don't know it, I'm not gonna answer. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert at everything, but I'll just post up a question. Don't be shy. I'd love to hear what you have to say. This is, we try to keep this a really welcoming place, a welcoming community. And if you're new, just chime in. Let us know where you're tuning in from. So I'm here every Friday at 11 Eastern. Algorithm be damned. You know, YouTube doesn't like videos where you don't watch the whole thing, right? So, if anything, doing a live every Friday probably damages my YouTube cred, according to the YouTube analytics, but who cares, right? I appreciate you guys joining me here every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And if you're new, if your question doesn't post up, you can head over to Instagram, @the slide into my DM and post your question. I do not throttle questions. I do not censor questions. Sometimes the YouTube is really, really bad at posting questions. So if your questions do not get through, send them over to Instagram, @the and either I'll answer them during live or I will get to them during the week. So how's everybody doing? What are you guys doing this weekend? We've been watching Halloween movies or scary movies all month. So if you guys have a favorite, drop it down below. What did we watch this week? We watched The Thing we're watching The Thing from 1981. And before that, we watched A Creature from the Black Lagoon. And I think we're going to watch Rosemary's Baby. We're doing a real wide variety of stuff right now. So, all right, let's dive in, guys. Just a reminder, if you post your question before Massive Iron Live starts at 11, you get a chance to win a free t-shirt or hoodie. Your pick. All right. Let's see what we got here. You crazy people. Let's see what kind of crazy questions we got here today. Post them on Brendan. Let's dive into things. Thoughts on flat bench, OHP, and incline bench, same workout. Okay, you got your flat bench, OHP, and incline bench. So you got 3 barbell lifts. I don't know, not really a big fan, but I'd have to see the overall program. If you're doing 2 press days, I'd like to see some dumbbells in the other press days. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's not going to kill you. It's not bad for gains. It's just not the way I would structure things. But honestly, Brendan, I would have to see the totality of the program to kind of see how you got the other stuff, worked in, so we could kind of figure out if we can move some pieces around the board. But that's fine. There's no issue with doing barbell work. But again, I'd like to see the totality of the program and see where your dumbbell work is, because you need dumbbell work. Mickey, hello, YouTube. Thanks. I'm not sure what accent that is, Mickey, but I tried my best to honor it. Scotty, MC, all right, big fella, how are you? Doing all right. Can you talk about the importance of appropriate rest times between sets? This is one of the most common questions when it comes to rest in between sets. And I will tell you guys, people worry about it way too much. It can be fluid. It can be fluid between sets. It can be fluid between workouts. It can vary on any given day between sets, and it can vary workout to workout. So don't stick to some arbitrary, rest in between sets unless you're doing a rest pause type of program. When you feel physically and mentally ready to go again, then go. And I never look at a watch. I'm not timing myself. When I feel physically and mentally ready to go again, I go. And it's as simple as that. On the big compounds, you want to make sure you are focused and ready to go. You don't want to rush things to the point where your cardiovascular system is still catching up, or you're still shaking your head because of the last set and you don't know where you're at. So don't worry about it too much. Um, just keep it. I mean, you can be in a workout on squats, and after your first set, you feel pretty good, and your rest could be 2.5 minutes, right? And then all of a sudden, the next set really drains you, and it might take you 5 minutes. That's okay. That's okay. Don't. Let me just see if I can get my head up there a little bit. That's okay. You don't need to. You don't need to over worry about it. The variables are just how you feeling on that given day, right? How you feeling after that set. The key thing is to make your sets count, to get in hard work. And if we stick to some arbitrary rest in between sets, that becomes our focus rather than are we ready to go again and kill this set, if that makes sense. Victor, thoughts on new research? I just posted on this on Instagram last night. Here's what I'll say. The last few studies that Menno has posted on frequency training, I've bounced off other coaches, and we've all found major holes and flaws in the studies and in the logic. The one he posted last night, when volume was equal, it really didn't matter. He even says that in the study. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Just give me a second here. It should only take me a second, and we'll see what we can do. I got it right now, and I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to detach it, and we're going to see if we can pull it up on screen. Let's do present, share screen, application window, blah, blah, blah. And here we go. So let me remove this. This is from Menno's post last night. When equating total training tonnage between groups, there was no meaningful difference. It was statistically insignificant between the training frequencies, as expected based on prior research. So this is deeply buried into the thing. Look, here's what I put. I don't care how you train. 15 years ago, I was discussing the viability of frequency programs in a world of bro splits. Today, I'm discussing the viability of bro splits in a world of frequency. Relax. Frequency is only one variable of many. And over the course of 5 to 10 years, it doesn't matter. Regarding Menno, I'm starting to not be as much. Whenever he posts something, I really have to dig in because there's some things going on that, like when you dig into this one, you find this as expected. So Menno says there's no meaningful difference between the training frequencies. Those are Menno's words. There's no meaningful difference between the training frequencies as expected. So the front page, is a trumpet of 3-1, right? Let me pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up so you guys can reference this. And I have no horse in the race. I really don't care, and I don't really want you guys to worry about it. That's the key thing. Like, these guys are getting you to worry about this stuff, right? And you don't need to worry about it. Training a muscle 3 times per week doubles muscle growth. That's on the front page of his post. And then when you dig in, you get this stuff. When equating total training tonnage between in the upper left-hand corner, there's no meaningful difference, right? So, we really you have to ask yourself, if you're going to lead with trumpeting that frequency training is 3 times. Still see me? The internet just crapped out for a second. I think I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on with the internet. But if you're going to lead with something that says that frequency training is 3 times more effective, and then you're going to bury the fact that we really expected it to be equal, you guys draw your own conclusions, okay? You guys draw your own conclusions. I'm not a big fan of it. Invisible. After all these lives, I can't even think of a new question. So happy Friday. That's fine. I just sincerely appreciate you tuning in. If you guys are new here, please post up a question. There are no dumb questions, no stupid questions. Post it on up. Shoulder day for me today. What's your favorite fall, winter specific activity? I just like to run and hike when the weather's cool. It's just much more enjoyable and far less fatiguing, and that's really about it. Um, I like this time of year because I like spring and I like fall. Fall tends to be less buggy, so mostly just that. Josh, do you think the internet has generally improved or ruined lifting as a whole? There's been a lot of good things. I mean, back in the early days of forums, we had a forum called Muscle and Brawn, and we were really the forum itself as a whole was really at the forefront of a lot of these discussions. Of we were talking about natural potential long before anybody else was really talking about natural potential. We were talking about the viability of full body work and classic programs and all this stuff while the world was trapped into a body part split. So I'm really happy to look back at Muscle and Brawn and say that I was part of something that was special during that time of the internet. Kind of we were such an open group that we were able to talk about things like that and be open and explore things like that without people getting super butthurt, right? So the issue I think right now, one of the major issues right now for me is that you have people trying to be influencers, people trying to chase followers, right? People putting up content that's not fitness content, that's labeled as fitness content. So like Humiston putting up some drug video yesterday. That's not about like I'm about lifting, okay? I like lifting. I want to get as big and as strong as humanly possible. That's what this channel is about. It's about lifting. You don't have to have the same goals as I do, right? But we can all kind of rally together in a world that is about maximizing our goals. It's about fitness. It could be about endurance running. It could be about maximum strength, maximum muscle mass. It could be about losing 100 pounds or a lifestyle change. That's real stuff, right? Our real lives, things, our goals, things we want to accomplish, right? And then you have fitness stuff where people are just sticking their ass in the camera using some awful lift that's ineffective or a complete waste of time, or fitness personalities that are making videos about drugs, or like Humiston, like why would you do that stuff? They took this peptide and lost 11 pounds. Who gives a crap? Even if he did, what does that have to do with lifestyle change? That's just a world I despise. It's just a world I despise. And look, drama stuff, it's entertaining, right? It's entertaining. I don't watch it. I don't have time. I'm not judging. I just don't have time. I'm busy doing the stuff I want to do, right? This is what I like to do. This is what I do. This is my hobby. This is my career. But all the drama stuff, I'm not putting it down. If people like it, that's great. But it's not fitness content. It's content that might have a fitness personality in. Like me, is Joe Schmo natty or not? Who cares? I don't care. What does that impact my goals? What does that impact your goals? Like, I don't care if you watch it. I'm not judging you if you watch it, right? But there can be like, some people will say, well, we need that to understand what what's possible naturally. If you don't understand what's possible naturally already, you're just watching the video for fun, right? Come on now. But I don't know. I don't think lifting has been ruined, Josh. I don't think it's been ruined. But I think there's so much nonsense and noise and distraction. This channel is about removing the distraction, removing the nonsense, removing the chaos, and just grounding everybody in the things that actually work. The lifting community winds up people about minor things, instead of focusing on the big picture and saying, here's the big picture. And 98% of it are these 8 simple things, right? being consistent with your training, crushing your nutrition, having a progressive overload plan, using a reasonable amount of volume, working a reasonable amount of sets per week hard, not jumping programs every 2 seconds, just stuff like that. But instead, 99% of the content in fitness is new ideas or new concepts or new things that just take the focus off what's important. All right, Team Massive, what's the weekend looking like for you? Good question. I'm going to do shoulders today. Tonight, me and the wife are going to a haunted trail. It's going to be a nice night. It's going to be up to 70 today. So we're going to do a haunted trail. Tomorrow, I'm going to go out for a 3-hour walk run, depending on how my right knee feels. And Sunday, we're doing a play in Cincinnati Shakespeare. What do you call it? Ensemble, the play group, whatever they're doing, Night of the Living Dead or something like that. We're going to that on Sunday. So we're going to have a busy Halloween-y weekend, but tonight's shoulders. Tomorrow I'm going to try to get in a 3-hour run. I made a new rule for myself. And the rule is I'm only going to drink beer on Saturday if I get in at least 3 hours of walking or running or hiking on Saturday. So we're not trying to go sober October. We're just trying to get back to moving more now that it's fall. Paul, what's going on, Paul? What's your best 20 rep squat? I think it is 365. Hold on, Paul. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me just mute this tab. I'll see if I can find it. I have it on YouTube. I have it on, I believe I have it on, let's see, squat 365 by 20. It's here somewhere. It's so hard to find YouTube videos when you have 2,000 YouTube videos. 365 20. There's 315 by 20. I'm just looking at some of my videos. I just can't find it. It's here somewhere. But I think my best squat is my best 20 rep squat is 365 or 385 by 20. I can't remember, and I don't want to toss out a number that somebody said, you said 385 and it was 365. That's how the random 1% comments go on YouTube. Like they scour through every word you say, and if you're not certain, like I have a RDL video up, and I honestly don't remember, and the guy filming doesn't remember if it's 635, 645, or 655. And to this day, I don't know. So, I'm not big. I'm not going to sit here and say I know every lift I've ever done specifically, but it's 365, 385. 3 days grace. You still doing? No, I actually went to sign up, and that week I hurt my right knee. Literally coming down the steps, I twisted my right knee, and to this day, it's not 100% healed. It was just a random freak old age injury coming down the stairs, and my right knee is just not 100%. I can walk, I can hike, I can run, but it makes certain leg exercises not good. So I've been giving it plenty of time to heal. I think it's a pretty extreme form. I don't know, some form. It's just like when it gets inflamed, it's a little bit grindy. So no, I'm not doing anything. Just waiting for it to heal. Aberrant. Was it a poor workout if I don't get DOMs? No, we're not working out to get soreness. I mean, soreness is a good indicator. It's satisfying, but every workout's a good workout as long as you're working out and you're chained together, stringing together a bunch of workouts that are taking you to your end goal. So the only real bad workout is a workout that we don't do. I hit the gym 6 to 7 p.m. and now having adopted your program, my sleep is being disrupted. Sorry, man. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Um, Everybody's different. I can work out late and go straight to bed. Some people can't. I hope you're having a big meal after that, to help kind of encourage things. But I don't really know what to say. I don't really know what to say. Maybe when you get up, pound some food real quick. Something to make you sleepy again. Rico, how's it going, Rico? Welcome to the program, and Stein as well. Team Massive represent Richard Murray from Scotland. Hey, great weekend. Join Team Massive, folks. It's one of the best things. Thank you. If you guys don't know about Team Massive, you can check it out right up here at superlivingtoday.com. We're going to be really expanding Team Massive. I'm working on it right now in the new year, and it's going to include Massive University, and it's expanding in different ways. So get in, join the team. If you're tired of Facebook, really, if you're tired of social media, you're tired of Facebook, and you want an escape that's positive, that doesn't have drama and all that nonsense. We don't talk politics. We don't talk religion. We talk lifting, encouragement, goals. And I post random memes or GIFs all the time of Captain Kirk. Just entertain myself. Eric, the Redbeard, how difficult is it to balance lifting with sports-specific training for non-lifting sports? Balance lifting, I don't know. I mean, sports-specific training, I think if you are doing sports-specific training, that's obviously your focus, and then you have to kind of fill in the cracks with lifting. Every sport does this to a degree, and there's going to be seasons in your sport where you need to bring up your strength, you need to bring up your conditioning. So I don't think it's that hard to balance. I think when you are on a cut, it's going to be much harder to balance, but that's a good mental strength period. You're working hard, you're doing a lot, you're a little bit hungry, you're telling yourself to suck it up a lot. So I think the most difficult thing is trying to balance recovery and not trying to do too much, understanding it's okay to do a little bit less, especially in the weight room. Weight room, it's really important that you remain consistent, but you also have to kind of resist the temptation to try to live in the gym while you're training for a sport. Henry Harry, why do so many trainers on YouTube talk about cycling? No one in my gym uses a stationary bike. I have no idea why they do that. And yeah, I mean, I've been in gyms 38, 39 years, and I think I recall like 3 people on the bike. That might be an exaggeration, right? But it's not that far off from the truth. I mean, give me the elliptical, the Stairmaster, the treadmill. I don't like all that knee work, to be honest with you. That might sound silly from a runner, somebody that runs, but running, you just have a little bit of knee extension. The stationary bike, I don't know. I just don't like it. I have no idea. I have no idea who's out there doing this stuff. Coming off a long cut, how much strength do you expect someone to add to their lifts? It's going to kind of be a slow drip back up. There's not going to be a big, huge increase. You're going to notice more glycogen in the muscles. You're going to notice more workout energy. You're going to notice you feel better. And you just should notice a nice stream of plus ones. It's hard to say, I can't say that you're going to specifically notice an increase in frequency of plus ones or PRs, but I think when you're coming off a cut and you get your diet back on track, you're going to see some pretty steady progress. By the way, I'll be listening with headphones today, so feel free to drop the F-bombs and the swing and dick stories. Yeah, I was actually, I almost swore earlier, and I had to hold back. Because I didn't want to drop too many F-bombs. Eric, the Beard of Redness, from your 365-pound bench video, you said it's not realistic for most men. Where would you expect most men to be able to get? Well, if you're training with me, like you're in my gym, we're going to get you to 275 or you're going to quit, right? You're going to be like, forget this. I'm going to push you and you're going to be able to see you're capable of a lot more than you think. Look, if you're training appropriately, you're training hard and your nutrition's good and you don't hit a 275 bench, you're probably not training as hard as you think you are. Your nutrition's probably not as good as you think it I mean, you should be hitting a 275 bench. And if not, you need to start pushing harder on your sets, right? You need to get the eye of the tiger or the eye of the elephant, the eye of the snake, the eye of the kangaroo, the eye of something. But you need to live, you need to start living, dying, and breathing for that +1. What do you think of Faz's new look? Faz sent me a picture about a month back or 6 months back, and I hid it. I didn't let the lifting world know that he was bald. But I thought about doing the mustache myself. I was like, maybe I'll do the Wolverine thing. Maybe I'll do the Lemmy thing, like the mutton chops. I don't know. Faz is sexy. He looks like Sylvester Stallone. We need more Sylvester Stallone, wannabes in YouTube. Rusty, what are your thoughts on cambered multi-grip bars, specifically looking to use one for my bench overhead? I'm not against it. Anything that changes you on a bar from the static grip to a little bit more flexibility, I'm certainly not against it. And the great thing about bars is they're not super expensive, compared to adding machines. And if you don't like them, you can sell them pretty easily. That's a beautiful thing about it. So I think they're a good investment. What qualifies as a good investment? It is something that doesn't take away from your funds and only adds to things over time. So even if you use it for a month and you don't like it, you'll be able to sell it and pretty much get what you put into it. So I think because you gain some knowledge, it's a good investment. Rico, what are your favorite exercises for increasing the 3 big lifts? Bench is dumbbell bench. I like to do a lot of dumbbell bench volume. Squats, I don't really think anything works on squats other than squats. A lot of squat volume over time. And deadlift, it's a combination of big, strong quads and back. Just quads and back. I'd like to rat hole it into just 3 lifts, but that's the honest truth. Amanda P, can you do mobility warm up before heading to the gym? As long as it doesn't take long. You want to go into the gym fresh. You want to go into lifting is our priority, whoever you are. Lifting is your priority because you need to build strength. It's good for your metabolism. It's good for overall health. And lifting is our priority. Everything else has to be structured around lifting. And I don't care who you are, that's the truth. You don't want to fatigue yourself before going to the gym. Now, you can do something before lifting, but if you're slightly fatigued at all, make sure you hydrate, take a little bit of carbs, and then you should be okay. Carlton, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the party. What are macro ratios for bulking and cutting? I don't do macros because, number one, here's some general thoughts. When you're cutting, let's talk about cutting. You want to get your protein as high as you can, 35 upwards of 40% of your overall daily calories. If you do that, it'll focus you on more lean protein sources, which allows more food volume. And by doing so, it'll take away a lot of your junk food out of your diet naturally, because you can't get your protein up to 35 to 40% if you're eating a lot of junk and trash foods. That's the gospel. That's the truth. So when cutting, you want to get your protein as high as you can. And that'll push you into more lean proteins and plant-based choices. And that'll increase your satiety. That'll increase your food volume. So whatever your calories are, we're looking at more maximizing protein. when you're bulking, 150 is a red line for men, maybe 100, 110 for women. And for men, you want to be at least around 170 to 180, women 110, a little bit higher if you want. You can go higher than that if you like more protein. You just can't go lower. And that's not a magic unlock the magic gains formula. That's just more a balance. If you're eating 3,200 calories a day and only 150 grams of protein, you're stuffing a lot of carbs and probably a lot of junk carbs in. So that's the best I can explain it. Carlton, checking in before the workout. Get it. All right. Let's pick a winner. Amanda P., you're going to win today. You're going to win because I haven't seen you in a while, Amanda. I'm excited you're back. And you can hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman, or slide into my DM or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. I'll send you a t-shirt, a hoodie, whatever you would like. All right, guys, we are rolling. We're rolling. We're 30 minutes in. We got a lot of questions, and I appreciate you guys joining me. It's been a good week for the channel. Headed towards 100,000 subscribers, and I would just, if you guys could please subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate it. I sincerely would. And let's move on with the party. Where are we? If I worked out for 3 months intensely but took a year off, when I start working out again, you're not going to get newbie gains. You're going to spend your time getting back the gains you already had. So that's the easiest way I can put it. Smart, simple, fit. Favorite mental Henselman moment. Wow. Me and Faz had a long discussion about a recent post of his, and I'm going to see if I can find it. But when you dove into the post and the study, it was just an awful, awful study. And it just confused people way, way too much. And look, I'm not a basher but it's just like certain people, you really, really have to be careful with their advice lately. And, like the stuff behind the stuff in a study, it's just, some of it's just getting silly. I'm scrolling back to see if I can find it. So while I'm doing so, guys, post up your questions. If you're new here, don't be shy. Post up a question. I'd love to help. And I don't really see it. It's probably way too far back, and I apologize. So we'll just kind of leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. UFC 280. I've been watching a lot of the UFCs lately. And tomorrow, I don't know. I'm going to be working all day tomorrow. And tomorrow night, I might be able to squeeze it in. Some of the UFCs are really good. Some of them are like dancing competitions, right? So hopefully we get a good number of fights. Which YouTube fitness channels are you most critical of? Critical would involve like putting out information that's confusing or unneeded for the average lifter. So in the truest spirit of that, it probably would be Mr. Ryan Humiston. And don't hate on me, guys. I'm Athlete X. Like the other day, I just did a random. I don't even know if I can upload it or not. Let me see if I can upload it. Probably not. Nah. Yeah, I was looking at I went in Athlete X's video library, and I searched best chest workout. It's like the most perfect chest workout, the best chest workout. There's like just this endless string, and like, how many best chest workouts are there? Is no best chest workout. The whole concept's silly. So I don't know. There's some good information on each of these channels, but there is a whole heap and helping I don't know, stuff that'll waste your time. Like if it motivates you to do a chest workout by Athlete X, good. That's a good thing. That's a great thing. But if you start to think that this is the best chest workout and you're doing all these foo-foo exercises, you're being led down a path. You're like a sheep. You're being pulled over a cliff. Have you watched Candy on Hulu? What is that? Candy, Hulu, Candy, Hulu. I have not. We go over to Hulu like once a month, so I'll have to check it out. I have no idea what it's about. Bashar, my question is, why does increasing the weight dramatically influence the number of reps? For example, if I go doing 15 reps with 100, the reps go down. Well, if you look at let's look at the basic math of this. If you look at a 1 rep max calculator, and you can search 1 rep max calculator, it's going to be a math formula. 100 by 15 and 110 by 10 to 12, they're going to equal about the same 1 rep max. So that's the long and the short of it. It's not like you're getting weaker. Your strength is the same. That's how progressive overload goes. You increase the weight, and then you get to the weight like 100, and then you increase your reps, and then you go to a certain rep level, a rep trigger, you increase the weight, and the reps will go down. So weight increase, rep increase, weight increase, reps drop. That's okay. That's the reason why it happens is because it's the same thing. It's the same 1 rep max. I'll pull up a 1 rep max calculator and we'll walk through this real quick. Okay. We'll just do an exercise we'll do a quick education for those of you guys that this is new for. So let me just pull this down. We're going to present, share the screen, and where are we at? Okay. We got it up. So let me shrink this thing down so I can see you guys. All right. So let's say your lift is 200 for 15 reps. Let's just say it's a squat, whatever. We're going in pounds. It doesn't matter. This can be kilos. Math is math. So 200 by 15 would be an approximate 1 rep max of 300. Okay. So if you look down here, if you were only using, what do we got? So we're doing 200 by 15. Let's say we did 220 by 11. Your approximate 1 rep max would be the same thing. So 200 by 15 and 200 by 11 is approximately the same. Now I'm going to show you guys something. Every rep you increases your 1 rep max by about 5 pounds. So let's look at this. Let's say your bench press is 200 by 8, or your squat is 200 by 8, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, your 1 rep max is 248. On your top set, let's say you add a rep. Doesn't seem like much, right? Your 1 rep max just jumped 9 pounds. That's why every rep is so important. And in the massive iron world, we focus on plus ones. You add another rep, you go from 200 to 8 to 209 to 200 by 10, and you are up 18 pounds on your 1 rep max. So people be like, I plateaued, my progress is slow. You add 2 reps in a month to this set, your bench press went up 18 pounds in a month. That's huge. If you only added 1 rep, you still added about 9 pounds to your bench on paper. Math is not going to be perfect every time, but you're going to be in that ballpark. Right? So let's talk about just adding reps. One of the tricks I use on bench press is, this ad's driving me crazy. Go away. Stop seeing this ad. One of the things I have clients do on bench press is we work up on 20 rep max on bench. So let's say you started at 200 by 5, your max would be about 225. If you got to that to 20, your max would be like 333. It'd be up by, go away. It'd be up by nearly over 100 pounds. Let's say I have a client that's at 145 by 20. on their bench, and their bench max approximately 241. And I work with them. This happens every day for me on somebody. I put them on this program for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months, and they'll go from like 145 to, let's just say let's just be really modest. We'll say 165 by 20. So you start at a 241 bench, and you're up 34 pounds, so about 10 pounds in a month. So the reason why all this stuff happens is because of simple math, just simple math. All right, Jack, what are your thoughts on some of the other programs? The biggest thing I tell folks is I have a vast library of my own programs, and I like my programming. I take programming seriously. Any program's fine, but ultimately most of us are power builders, right? We want to build strength and muscle. And I don't think a lot of these programs, unless you structure them right, I like my programs. Okay. My programs are designed to get you to build strength and muscle. So I get a lot of people that'll DM me on Instagram and they'll say, "What do you think of this program?" And I'll be like, "Why don't you check out my programs?" Right. I think you should check out my programs. So there's a workout tab on my website. You can find my website right above here. And I'm not trying to do a sales pitch, but I just want to show you guys the vast library. So if you go to workouts and you go to all, okay, you have a monster resource. Massive push-pull legs, arms, HVI training, 28-day power building training, the Squadzilla program, massive iron 5x5, massive push-pull legs, 16-week bench block, AB posterior split, 6-week bench builder, massive volume training, drunk Russian, massive double progression, on and on and on and on and on and on and on, massive crap, other stuff, massive junk, massive lube, massive rampage, massive pillars, massive calves, I'm doing other ones. I've got new ones on the list as well. I'm going to have massive tweaker, which is I'm tweaking the upper lower into 2 upper sessions and a limb session, torso, arms and legs. That's going to be called massive tweaker. I'm going to be working on that this weekend because I tweaked the upper lower. And I'm going to have massive high, which is going to be a higher volume, or not higher volume. It's going to be a higher rep range program than most people are used to, meant to drive hypertrophy. So I don't like to get into these programs because I spend my days working on my own, and I built a lot of quality programs. You can buy the ones on my website, you can pay for and get a PDF. You can search on my YouTube channel and get everything for free, because I go over nearly everything on this YouTube channel and give it away for free. All you got to do is stop and screenshot. It's as simple as that. And I also have tons and tons of free information. And I'll be launching Massive University, which is going to have about 500 of my articles and workouts all in one place. So, look, this is all about my legacy for me. Everything I know about lifting, everything I know about working out. So if you like it, use it. I just ask you to consider using one of mine. Just test it out. Question: is squatting twice a week too much on the knees? No, it's not inherently too much on the knees. That's probably the least of your issues. If form is bad, yes, probably bad on your knees. But squatting twice a week is not inherently bad unless your form is bad. Scotty MC, I'll be watching Halloween 4 through 6, known as the Thorn Trilogy. Yeah, it's been a while since I watched those. We watched Halloween Ends, and I know a lot of people hate it, but as a standalone movie, it was all right. It was okay. Big Bill Monte, happy Friday. Massive Crew deload starting today. Team Massive lately has been showing some anime superhero movie type physiques, so I need to keep on pushing. Bill, you're right up there. Another 5 pounds for you, and you're going to be a freakazoid. That's probably all you'll ever need for the rest of your life. John Paul, Is hip thrust good alternative for good morning? They're pretty equatable exercise. I mean, it really depends on your goals. If you are someone that wants to build a better deadlift, I would probably use the good morning. If it doesn't really matter and you're just trying to, slot in something, use the exercise choice that feels better for you. Or if they're kind of equal, alternate every other week between them. Big Connor Smith. What exercises would you replace if you had to? The big three. Well, if you didn't want to squat or couldn't squat, let's go hypothetical. And you guys know I don't like hypotheticals, but you don't have to squat. So if you didn't squat, you could do leg press, you could do hack squats, you could do leg extensions, you could do lunges, you could do Bulgarian split squats, you could do sissy squats, you could do leverage squats, you could do pendulum squats. Tons and tons of work for the legs. Now, deadlifts, I didn't even know about the deadlift really till 2007, 20 years into lifting. You could do barbell rows, dumbbell rows, penalty rows, Yates rows, seated cable rows, chest supported rows, seal rows, lat pull downs, pull-ups, machine rows, on and on and on. So many good back building exercises. Probably when it comes to bench, I really wouldn't want to pull out bench because chest is all about pressing. You're going to have bench press, you're going to have dumbbell press, you're going to have machine chest press or plate loaded chest press. And then you get into the world of isolation exercises. So there's not a lot of a big base of big beefy chest building exercises. So Connor, as far as the hypothetical goes, you could go for hypertrophy. You could go without squats and deads. I wouldn't go without bench though. Ramon, I'm going to do a fitness training course. Do you have some tips to look out for when I do my internship at a gym? Wow, this is a question that I could take in 1,000 different directions. You can do a fitness training course. The biggest thing, I don't know. I mean, when you're looking at the course, understand that form or good form can mean 200 different things to 200 different instructors. And some people get really caught up in kinesiology and physiology to the point where they have more knowledge about kinesiology and physiology than they do about actually training people in the gym, because there's a big difference. You can know kinesiology and physiology, but when you get into the gym, training people on a daily basis and doing nuanced little changes to their squat or deadlift or bench, that's a whole different form of education. So just know when you are studying from someone, when it comes to form, they probably have a lot of book knowledge about which muscle and which tendon and does this and that and the other thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just know that does not teach you how to execute or teach good form, if that makes sense. Joy Pass. Are you still looking through the workouts that we sent to your email? I did a call for upper lowers, I don't know, a month ago, and I literally got over 200. So it kind of train wrecked, and I apologize. Dr. AJ says, don't worry, be happy. That made me worry a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Because I started to think, am I worrying or am I happy? And then I started worrying about whether I'm worrying or being happy. And it kind of upset me because I was just kind of in a Zen area right now where I'm just kind of being, right? I was just kind of being in the moment. And that pulled me out of the moment and made me worry. Joy Pass, that's an old song. Is full body every other day effective? Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with it, as long as you enjoy it. Richard, I was considering buying a landmine. Is it worth home gym edition? So here's what I'll say, okay? I'm putting out a line of fitness equipment. I'm not trying to sell you guys on this stuff, but we're going to have something called jammer arms, which are going to allow you to do just a ton of exercises. So whether you buy from me and I know you're in Scotland, or whether you buy from somebody in Scotland, I look into Jammer Arms, okay, because they might be the same price and give you a lot greater exercise variety. Scott MC, I prefer spring and autumn. Makes outside exercise much more bearable. Yeah, the hardest part about doing some of the summer runs was always the weather. It wasn't the trail. All right, why is my eye red right here? I don't know. Maybe rubbing it. Maybe I got a rare disease. I think that's where my dog, one of the areas where my dog bit me. Dr. AJ, I feel the internet is destroying exercise, fitness, nutrition. More bad than correct. I don't know. You know, a discussion or argument could be made that the internet, like we're almost being pitted against each other in every aspect, and we've almost forgotten how to be civil and get along and not turn everything into warfare, right? So an argument could be made that like we're training each other to just attack like animals. Assassin, what's going on? What's your favorite? It's your favorite assassin by far. Top. If there's a list of 1,000 assassins, this assassin is numero uno. Can you speak briefly on testosterone? Don't spend your money on it, and spend your money on coaching. It's a better investment. Me, anybody else. Doesn't matter. Faz, Jeffrey Verity, Schofield, you're going to get far more out of it than you would with turkey steroids. Just the education you get and the guidance and the form guidance and all that kind of stuff is invaluable. One of the best things any of you guys could do is coaching, at least for a 3-month period. It'll hold you accountable. You'll get some really good guidance as far as nutrition and proper bulking. You get some really good form help. Like my clients can send me 2 form videos a day. They don't have to ask. And I'll look at things, and sometimes, most of the time, it's like, oh, that looks good. But sometimes it's like a really long grind. Usually with squats, it's a longer grind, but that's one of the values of coaching. But one of the best things you could do is sign up for coaching. Mickey Chan, on a bulk, what's the ideal rate of weight gain? Well, Mickey, the general rule I have for clients is 10 pounds. We set a 10-pound cap. At 10 pounds, we can reassess. If you want to keep going another 5 pounds, you can. But we want to look at overall body composition. We don't want to let you get too far off the ranch, right? So 10 pounds can be over 3, 4, 5 months. Things can vary in life. So we could set a rule. It has to be 3 months. It has to be 4 months. It has to be 5 months. But really, when you start a new training cycle, the first 2 weeks are generally going to be a break-in period. Let's say you start a new workout, a new type of workout. Okay? The first 2 weeks is going to be a break-in period where you're figuring out what weight you need. You're kind of adjusting to the workout. And then you're going to have 3 or 4 months where you're really running. Boom. You're really tackling that program. You're getting a lot out of it. So basically, you have the 3 or 4 month block. It could be 5 months where you're really ramming on that program, and you add in the 2 weeks break in. So that's the period where you want to gain about 10 pounds in that workout block. 3, 4, 5 months. So the ideal weight gain is about 10 pounds in 3, 4, 5 months. Big Bill Montesaurus, for the weekend, I'm doing one exception to the deload, testing how many times I can rep. Get a video of that, Bill. Just make sure you warm up properly. What's going on? Neo from Minnesota. How's it going, Neo? Good to have you on board. Turk might help if you buy the good stuff. If you're going to spend $100, you need to spend that on. I'd rather spend it on good food and a coach. You'll get more out of it. You will. Don't waste your money on that stuff. Any of you guys doing Turk, throw that shit down the toilet. I mean, just seriously. There's so many good coaches out there right now. So many people that can help you. And, if you're spending money like beyond whey protein and maybe creatine and pre-workout and vitamin D and a few minor supplements, if you're spending money on this stuff, you're going to get far more out of working with somebody that can really, really help you. Would I waste my money if I bought those shotgun sleeves? No idea what that is. You mean a slingshot? Those are really good. That's a really good tool for supporting your shoulders. So it's not about you don't wear a slingshot generally to increase your bench, although it's good for overload. It is a good way to overload your bench, but generally we do it to protect our shoulders. But yeah, if you bench 210 by 10, it'd be a good tool for you to work your overload as well. Big Justin P, big hairy ugly dude. Some days have limited time. Should I drop my accessory movements? Here's what I tell clients. Like the biggest thing you want to focus on is stretching together weeks and weeks and weeks of training. So if you have a week that just kicks you in the old gonads, right? Then you can drop sets to 2 per exercise. You can insert extra rest day. What I would do is drop compounds to 2 sets and maybe even 1 set for isolation exercises. Big Matt DP. I've been pumped this week. Matt hit 405 on deadlift. And I'll let you guys know I coach Matt, and he did so without even talking to me. And it hurt my feelings because I'm a coach and I'd like to give him proper warm-up protocol, but Matt just did his own thing. And Matt, I just don't want you to get injured. I'm really happy for you hit 405 on deadlift. But Matt, next time just talk to me so I can structure a proper warm-up. So I wouldn't put you in the corner of shame, Matt. Victor, Alpha D just posted a video about the advantages of 2 sets per exercise. You seem to be always ahead of everyone in training ideas. Massive Mass is awesome. I'm glad you like it. It's more the case with me that I've been talking about workouts for so very, very long. And I like to create workout varieties. That in many cases I've just simply been doing this before these guys got on YouTube. Like Massive Mass, you focus on 2 sets and you go from taking 1 set for max intensity to 2 sets for max intensity. And 2 sets, I do a lot of 2 set work myself, because with 2 sets, you can really, really focus hard on getting the most out of those sets. And that doesn't mean you have to restrict overall volume. You can actually get in a greater variety of exercises, but it can be a fun way to train. And you can head over to my website and search Massive Mass, or you can search this YouTube channel for Massive Mass. And I believe I have a complete video where I go over everything for free. All right, guys, we're an hour in. I'm going to keep rolling along. So post up your questions. If you're new here, don't be shy. I'd love to get to know you, help you out, answer your questions. Head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman. Please follow me. If you're new here to my channel, please follow my channel. I'd appreciate you guys helping me get to 100,000 subscribers before I die, because I'm getting old, right? But seriously, I'm not too worried about numbers. I'm worried about helping people. And man, I love lifting. So I appreciate you guys joining in, being part of the community. We're going to have a lot of community stuff going on in 2023. And I just want to encourage you guys to be a part of it. The community stuff, we're going to have Team Massive is going to be expanding into a massive university with just 500 articles and resources and courses and good discussions and daily check-ins and motivation and no nonsense. So please, I appreciate you guys joining in, and just stay and remain part of the community. Just started going to commercial gym after 3 years of home gym, falling in love with machines again. I'm not a big fan of 100% machines. My best advice for you would be to do a good mix of dumbbells and machines. Like, I understand you really, really like machines, but for hypertrophy, it'd be a good idea to do dumbbells and machines at minimum. Like, anybody that's interested in minimum hypertrophy, I would set the minimums as dumbbells and machines. Luke, What can I do to mitigate acne? I have no idea. If you're on testosterone, I talk to your doctor. I don't. This is a lifting channel. I'm not trying to be dismissive, but I don't get in TRT. I don't care about it. All I care about is lifting. And I'm no acne doctor. And I'm not going to try to pretend I am one. Pop those suckers and drive on, soldier. If completing a marathon is a bucket list thing to do, how do you start? First off, you probably need to run 3 days a week. The first 2 days, you just do whatever, 20, 30 minutes. Every Saturday, go out and do as far as you can, walk, run, hike. Doesn't matter. We're trying to build up your endurance. Walk, run, hike. Now, when you run, we're not trying to set PRs. You're trying to run at a conversational pace, which means sustainable and that you could hold a conversation while running with someone next to you without being like, ha, 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 right? That was a little bit sickening, right? That was a little bit off. Sorry to, yeah, that was just really bad. But that's what I would start with. And know that 90% of it is mental. You want to start off with doing 2 runs a week, walk, run, hike for like probably 30 minutes. And then a Saturday, as long as you can that Saturday, as long as you can stomach it. And I got a lot more information. I would do it on trail and not on pavement if you could handle it, because it'll be easier on your joints. Andreas, Coach, joining up for previous question, is there any tweak or one could, for an one-off season, do only the main lifts or maybe limit it to the main? I've done that. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm just not. I'm not a fan of it because I lost size on it. It's okay for strength to do minimal stuff, more minimal stuff, but I'm not a fan of that at all. I'm not a fan of 2 lifts per day. At that point, you might as well just stop lifting. I mean, if you got a limited schedule, I'd rather see you doing 1 or 2 sets per exercise, but there's no value in that. There's no value as far as hypertrophy or even conditioning. You got to do a little bit more work. So could you do it? Yeah. Is it a value? No, it sucks. Dr. AJ, love the fresh air and freedom of cycling. Great for cardio and zone work, but not a thing for power lifters. I run, and I don't consider myself a power lifter, but I maintain pretty good strength. So I like guys that go out there and do multiple things, lifting and cycling, lifting and running. We've lost fitness a little bit from the world of lifting, so I like bringing them back together. Mickey Chan, do you think watching too much science-based fitness? Yes. Anytime you see like a post from one of these guys, I'm not going to name names, like either it fortifies somebody's bias or they hop over, they're trying to tweak the program. Now I got a new variable, right? I got a new variable. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. The rules are simple. And I'm not anti-science. I'm not anti-science. Here's the thing about science. If we understand in the gym what is working, science is not arbitrarily looking at one study and going, okay, I'm going to go do something random based off one. That's not science. Like, if you had one study that said, if you just twitch your right eye, we found that when you dive underwater and hold your breath, if you twitch your right eye, you can stay underwater for 3 minutes longer. One study said, all of a sudden, people are going to dive into the water. Or if it said, if you twitch your right eye while jumping off a cliff, you increase your percentage of living by 22.3%. I'm going to go jump off a cliff, buddy. Right? That's not science. Right? That's one study. If we look at the body of work, science tries to understand, right? It's a process. So I'm definitely not, and I don't think any of you guys are anti-science, anti-process. But we have to understand that everything needs to be framed against what is working in the gym. And everything I've always done, like I've had the opportunity during my lifetime to interview, work with transformation stories, bodybuilders, power lifters, write articles. I would have people in my office every week, from Jerry Ward to the Hodge twins, to Ronnie Coleman, to Jay Cutler, to Mike Rashid, to Big J, on and on and on and on and on. And every one of these guys trains differently, right? They all have their own workout approach. They all have their own pet beliefs. Some like giant sets, some like supersets, some like minimal training. But when you have all this stuff in this pool, you ask yourself, and this is what I've always asked myself, and what is the foundation of this channel, is what are the common pillars? What are the commonalities that all these guys are doing? And it's really quite simple. So when you look at the simple pillars of success, and that was in my book, Massive Iron, which you can check out, the pillars of success, and I've expanded on them a little bit over time to kind of flesh them out a little bit, not added anything radical, but that's what we need to focus on. Like, not a superset has been shown to give you 2.3% more. Oh, I'm going to do supersets. Look, over the course of 5 to 10 years, it doesn't fucking matter, guys. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Fuck your program. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm not telling you not to have a good program. It just doesn't matter what you do as long as it's reasonable. You're progressing. You're consistent. You're working hard. You're pushing, getting as much as you can out of sets. You're nailing your nutrition. I cannot tell you how many people train hard but fuck it up on nutrition. I have people that I just love working with that just can't get their heads together when it comes to nutrition. It's excuses and excuses and excuses. Like, come on, just get your nutrition together. Best way to overcome deadlift plateau. A novice really shouldn't have a deadlift plateau. Neither should an intermediate. So I would have to know more information. If your deadlift's truly not moving as a novice, something's broken and it's not programming. So I would love to help, but I would need to know more information. Horseman, consider joining Team Massive, or you can send me more information on Instagram at Ben the Barman. I'd be glad to help. How many languages do you speak? One fluently. I grew up taking German, and my grandparents were German. Wer ist das drüben? I'm probably really bad. Danke gut an dir, prima. Freudige Weihnachten und ein glückliches neues Jahr. Happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. So I grew up knowing some German. I can understand some German. I took 3 years of Spanish, and I went to college in New Mexico. I understand. I can listen to Spanish better than I can speak it. So I know all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know how to, do the verb action. I know how to. I can listen to Spanish, and I don't really speak it, as well as I can listen. I took Chinese. I have an understanding of how the Chinese language works. Like I remember the different inflections, like gao, 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 gao. The 4 different, and I might be wrong, but like the 4 different inflections. But I can't listen or speak Chinese, and I've spent some time in some of the Lebanese and Middle Eastern areas of Toronto, and I've started to pick up a little bit of Lebanese, but very trivial amount. But I only speak English and lifting fluently. So I just dabbled in other languages. Spanish, I probably understand better than anything. Like if you type a sentence in Spanish, I'll probably be able to understand it, but I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to speak it. If that makes sense. Henry Harry, how do you get over fear of increasing weight? You just do it. You just do it. You just do it. You walk over, you grab the weight, and your brain's going, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Fear, fear, fear. You're not going to die. Hopefully. Let's hope not. Not on a Friday, at least. If you're gonna hurt yourself, do it on a Monday, so you get the whole week of work off. But at some point, you just need to take it incrementally. I fear. Go grab the weights, put them by the bench. So let's say it's dumbbell bench. I fear. I'm gonna pick them up, put them on my knees. I fear. I'm gonna lean back. I fear. Focus on your form. At some point, you just have to do it. You have to suck it up. There's no other way than to just face it and do it. Just close your eyes and remind yourself you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to be fine. MG254, does having TRT help push through minor injuries? No idea. I think most people, normal TRT is probably going to help people recover better. But it's not like HGH where it's, human growth hormone, which is going to help with, more with recovery and that sort of thing. I'm no expert. But, if you're bringing your testosterone levels back up to normal, you're probably going to see it more sexually. You're probably going to feel less like a zombie in the morning. You're probably going to have slightly better recovery. But I don't think soreness is going to be any better. And I really don't think it'll increase muscle strains, to be honest with you. Sebastione, what exercise do you prefer for targeting the abs? I don't really ever target the obliques. Specifically, it's just not a thing I like to do or care to do. If you do single arm dumbbell overhead presses, that's going to really hit your core, like your oblique area. I don't know. Wood choppers, maybe you can do cable wood choppers or whatever. That might be an oblique exercise some of my clients have done. Me, I just like to bring up a base core strength on ab wheel rollouts and shoulder tap planks. What are shoulder tap planks? Well, if you've ever done a plank, they bore you to death. You're just sitting there and the seconds tick by slowly, right? So a shoulder tap plank is basically you're just adding reps into the game, like 1, 2, you're on a plank position, 3, 4, and you can do like to 50. So you're still holding that plank position, but you're counting to 50, and it makes the time go by a lot more quickly. I used to leave the gym because I was nauseated. Now I drink liquid IV with added sugar. I'm curious if you're nauseated, like nausea when you're running. You can go into the gym with too much water, too much food in your stomach. And I'm not saying this is necessarily the case, but this is common in running. When you start lifting, your body has to decide whether it's going to use that blood for digestion or it's going to use it for your muscles. And it's going to choose your muscles. It's going to let whatever food and water kind of sit in your stomach. Now, if lifting, you get to pace yourself, and it's a good idea to sit down in between sets and try to cool down a little bit if you're hot to let that water digest. Sodium is very, very important. Sodium is super important when it comes to performance, and it's not something that's talked about enough. Sheldon, where are we? My squat has reached 415 by 5 or 6, sorry. My deadlift 455 by 6, and it's my third year lifting using Power Muscle Block. That's great. That's wonderful. Next 5-year goal is 600. How much can I change my set and reps to reach? Well, there's a lot like right now mentally you've made a big step forward. So you have what it takes mentally to reach a 600-pound deadlift. There are some minor things I would focus on. getting your quads as strong as you can outside of squats on other lifts, getting your dumbbell and barbell rows inhumanly strong, get your traps inhumanly strong, do more trap work. And on your deadlifts, there's some things I have I would probably alternate approaches every other week. Like I have a 10-minute block approach, which I would do kind of in a lighter week, and then maybe something different like a threes protocol on the other week, or do hex bar 1 week and conventional 1 week or whatever. There's some things you could rotate, but right now it's hard to sit here and say, Sheldon, this is what you should do. Right. That's kind of a coaching situation for me where, okay, I got a guy who has really kicked things up using a program. Now, what do we do to take him to the next level? We have to plan. We have to tweak some variables, right? We have to move some things around the board a little bit. So, in basics, you want to get your quads strong outside of squats. You want to get your rows strong, and you want to get your traps strong, and you probably have to look at nutrition, make sure it's consistent, maybe gaining some weight, and maybe look at a couple different variables of how you're training your deadlift. Shan, there's no real alternative to squats, but if you want to, if you don't want to use them, you can use leg press, hack squats, pendulum squats. You can use leg extensions. You can use sissy squats. You can use Bulgarian split squats. There's a lot of exercise you can to grow big legs. Every exercise is killing my gains. I'm going to be honest, and don't hate me. I'm just sharing opinion. I don't think Athlete X is a good hypertrophy coach. I just don't. He looks great, and some of you are going to like him, and just, I just don't think he's a great hypertrophy coach. I really don't. There's too many other really good coaches out there. So I'll just leave it at that. Do you think a lot of these studies are done or cited with confirmation bias? I don't know. I hate to blanketly say that. And you can find a study to support almost anything, but that doesn't inherently mean confirmation. I think in the world of lifting, there's a lot of things we believe and a lot of things we might explore. So in science, if you have a belief or a theory and you explore that theory, some could easily say that's confirmation bias. It's really easy to toss that around. I don't know, and I hate to speak blanketly. I will say for you guys, the best thing to do is focus on trying to find the commonalities between all training systems. That will never lead you astray. All right, guys, let me get a drink here. We're about 700 minutes in. Just kidding. We're rolling today, so I appreciate it. Got to recharge. All right, before we move forward, come sign up for coaching. I have 2-3 slots available, and it's only $80 a month. Hit the coaching tab. I'm with you every single day. I'm not a weekly check-in type of guy. Fuck that. I coach for a living, and I'm not one of these guys, the YouTube celebrities that's going to give you generic crap. Get you a Massive Iron t-shirt. Get you Massive Iron protein. Get you a Massive Iron flag. Drop a couple bucks in my pocket and support the team. Are all wrist straps created equal? Get Anderson's or something similar. Like I've used Mark Bell stuff and not a fan. They just kind of started to fray in the first couple of months. Anderson wraps. There's other good companies out there. And I'm not saying they're not other good companies. I don't want to put down anybody else's company. But Anderson Powerlifting, just search Anderson Powerlifting. I've had their wraps and they just continue to go long and strong. And for the price, worth it. I can barely add reps to my compound movements. My bench is over one plate. You're 5'8". Alexa, how many pounds is 60 kilograms?
60 kilograms is about 132 pounds.
All right. So if your bench is kind of stagnating, time to have a nice slow bulk over the course of 2 years. Beyond that, sign up for coaching. Eric, got to be careful with the eye of the snake. Yeah, you can handle the eye of the tiger, but the eye of the snake. Nicholas, how effective can a 15-minute workout be? Not very at all. That's barely a warm-up. Not at all. That's good for sex, not good for lifting at all. No way, shape, or form. If I'm gassed midway through, you need to work on work capacity. You need 100% work on work capacity. If you're gassed, your work capacity sucks ass. Excuse my honesty. And you're never going to build muscle until you're in there, you want to stop. What do? You push. That's how you build work capacity. When you want to stop, you push for a little bit more. When you want to stop, you push for a little bit more. It's not your age. It's not your energy level. And it's not your diet. It's right here. You need to grab your testicles and shake them a little bit and say, I need to work harder. I need to push harder. You need to push through. That's here. That's not diet. That's not age. You think I go into my workouts with energy? No, most times I don't even want to work out. I'm not going to lie. I want to sit on El Caucho and eat El Pizza and drink El IPAOs, right? There's my bad Spanglish, right? But no, I'm not trying to be hard on you, Nicholas, but you need some Sitfu. Suck it the fuck up. You need to push harder. You need to build up your work capacity. You need to like when I go out on runs and I'm tired, I'll make myself run out an hour and a half on an out and back. Why? Because then I have to run back. Even if I'm tired, I'm not going to die in the woods. You need more of that in your life. And I don't know your situation. I don't know you personally. I'm not trying to attack you. But the best thing you can do when you want to quit is push for more. There is a voice inside of me. When I do not want to do something, I'm going to swear a little bit. I tell myself, fuck you. I look in the mirror like, fuck you. You're going to do more. The voice in my head is not going to win. The voice in my head wants to sit on the couch. The voice in my head wants to watch a movie. The voice in my head wants to eat pizza. The voice in my head wants to smoke a cigar and drink an IPA, and it doesn't want to fucking work hard. But you have to understand that voice is not in control. You just take the next step. You take the next step. You take the next step. You always push harder. You always push one more step than you want to. That's the key to success. And I'm not coming after you, Nicholas. So I'm saying in general, I do not give a fuck how tired any of you fuckers are. I do not give a shit about your fucking excuses. I do not give a shit how tired you are, how fucking lack of sleep ass motherfucker you are, or what you fucking did or didn't eat the day before. It doesn't fucking matter. If you want results, push. Push one more step than you want to. That builds mental strength and it gives you the capacity to lock and load next time. This is not easy. And if we just quit when we want to quit, we're never going to accomplish anything. The key to success in anything is taking one more step than you want to. Clo Kill, on bad sleep days, should I caffeine up or just sleep well? It depends. I have nothing against extra rest days. I don't. As long as you are pretty consistent week in and week out, nothing wrong with an extra rest day here and there. If it's every week, then we probably kind of got to reassess, what we can do to mitigate that a little bit. But it's occasional. That's fine. What I will say though is there are once a week, I do not want to work out. I'm just maybe stress or fatigue, or I'm just old and ugly, right? I don't want to work out. So on days like those, think about taking the next step. Like I have found that on days I don't want to work out, if I just get the first set in over with, everything else goes great. I once the first set's done, I'm in the gym, then I can just roll on. So if you think you have the capacity to get in the gym and knock out the first set, great. If it's just a rare occasion, like once a month, take a rest day. Eric says, congrats, Amanda P. Cloakill, I can't deadlift right now, so our weighted dead hangs enough for maximal forearm growth. If you want to do forearm work, do wrist rollers. Get a wrist roller off Amazon. They're cheap. You can get Captains of Crush grippers. I would do Captains of Crush grippers. You can keep those in your gym bag. I would do wrist rollers. And deadlifts, you really shouldn't be doing to train your grip anyway. You're doing that to train your deadlift and your back. Power Builder, for whatever reason, have you ever done the deck of cards workout? I've done some random things. I like doing general type of work, general conditioning work. I don't have anything against it. I like doing it. We like doing some general calisthenic stuff. So I've seen it. I have nothing against it. It just doesn't replace weights, and you can't do it for weights. It's not a plan for strength building or muscle building. It's more conditioning stuff. You have to get in your regular hypertrophy workouts or strength building workouts, and then you can do that stuff. But that stuff does not replace good quality, common sense work. Joy Pass bringing the LOL. Is it true that the longer you hold on to muscle, the harder it is to lose it? I think this is one of those concepts that's being tossed around. Like after a bulk, hold your weight longer. Like this is something that's being created in fairy tale land. If over the course of 5-10 years, if you train hard and you gain a lot of muscle mass, having a few cuts is not going to cause your muscle mass to go away. Right? You're not going to lose it. I hate this it's almost impossible to lose muscle mass as it is in a cut if you're training. This is one of these concepts that's being passed around that's just pulled out of someone's ass in fairy tale world. Colin, hey Steve, have you ever had a hernia? No. I'm going through it. Any advice? I don't. I've never had a hernia. I would talk to your doctor. I would talk to other lifters that have had a hernia. It's just simply nothing I'm an expert in. When it comes to recovering after an injury, you want to go slow and steady. You want to be very, very cautious. Usually you want to give an injury or recovery more time rather than later or less time, because one of the worst things you can do after an injury is rush back. Chloe, if you had to guess, how much extra muscle have you built after your first 3 years of training? If you did training right, you could have the potential to build about 28 pounds of muscle in 3 years if everything was perfect. And that rarely happens. You'd be more likely to build 15 to 17 pounds of muscle if you're doing most everything right. If you only had 5 pounds of muscle after 3 years, you're pretty much like the average bro. You're going in, you increase strength a little bit, but then your diet sucks. You're not pushing for progression. 5 pounds is like every gym bro. You said that on a bulk you might gain 5 pounds of water weight, 3 to 5, 2 to 5, whatever in the first week, but I've never lost any water. I don't know. Something fishy's there. Something fishy's going on. When you increase calories or lose or decrease calories, generally when you eat more carbs, sodium, more food, you're generally going to add a little bit more water weight, a little bit more inflammation. And when you cut back on carbs, which is usually what you're cutting back on in a cut, usually you're going to lose a little bit of water weight. So I'd like to see those graphs. I'd have to look. As a coach, where do you usually see your clients making the best gains volume-wise for quads? Well, we start at about 12 quality sets a week for quads. And for biceps and triceps, 6 for biceps, maybe 6 to 9 for triceps. A lot of people that come to me, maybe 75%, have been training, but they haven't been training as hard, and that's not a criticism. I don't do any circus acts or anything super intense, but phase one of working with someone is to try to, just see where they're at and get them up to speed a little bit. So the first 3, 4, 5 months, we're going to use about 12 hard sets for quads, about 6 for biceps, and about 6 to 9 for triceps. After that, a lot of it really comes down to time in gym. Like it's hard to add work beyond that because then you're going to be living in the gym. So that's kind of a reasonable starting point for everyone. Incognito, how vertical should we be back squatting? I've seen prioritizing back verticality. It really, the squat is highly unique. Okay. Everybody has different limb lengths and leverages. And we have to look at the first thing the real priority in a squat is that we get you in a natural width, and we're checking your knee angle and your foot angle, and we're getting the basic mechanics set up, and from there you're going to optimize verticality for yourself, for your limb lengths and leverages. So verticality is a function of getting your form ironed out. Getting you in a good width, getting your knee angle, your foot angle ironed out, getting your good breathing and bracing, and then how vertical you get comes from that. Some people like low bar, some people like high bar, but it'll be a function of getting everything in place, if that makes sense. And there's no one size fits all. And if anybody says so, kick them in the nuts. Easiest way to food prep simply. And best budget foods. Eggs and rice. 100% the best budget foods. Protein, fats, and carbs. So eggs, I could eat eggs and rice mixed together all day long with light soy or hot sauce. I just like it. One of the easiest ways to meal prep is going to be something I just posted on social media, which is chili. You can find the cheapest ass, nastiest ass budget. They about to throw it away at the grocery store proteins. Put it in a crock pot. And you can add in a can of black beans and 2 diced tomatoes and chipotle peppers and jalapeno peppers and all your seasoning. I went and got, I want to show you guys something. So hold on here. We're gonna pull up the Instagram. So hang tough, and while I'm doing so, post a question, because I posted up about chili on where are you, chili? Where are you, chili? Where are you, Mr. Chili? Oh, here we go. So let me pull that up. All right, I'll find it. Don't go anywhere. Share screen. Application window. Okay. So here we have it. So all these things, I went to the grocery store this week and I bought all this stuff. So this is what I put in my crock pot with my meat. I put in a can of chipotle and adobo sauce, just great flavor. A can of black beans. You don't have to do the tomato sauce. You can add another tomato, whichever's cheaper. I like green chilies in there for a little flavor. I put Greek yogurt in for extra protein. You don't have to do that. I put in baby bok choy. People are like, why do you do that? That doesn't go in chili. Extra nutrients. We're about nutrients and growth here. We're not trying to make a world-class chili. You don't even taste it, right? Between the bok choy is a root vegetable, just like onions. You don't even taste it in there. It just adds a little bit of nutrient variety. You can dice some spinach if you want. You're just going to have a little hidden greens in your chili. I put in juice of a couple limes, some jalapeno, and cilantro. That cost me like $17 for all that stuff. And I put in ground meat from Force of Nature Meats. You don't have to do that. You could put in whatever cheap ass protein things you find at the store, and you can mix and match them. It can be pork loin, it can be chicken tenders, it can be some cheap beef on sale. It can be whatever. Just toss it all in there, right? Look at all the nutrients, the variety of nutrients. We got bok choy, we got onions, we got tomatoes, we got cilantros, we got jalapenos, we got lime, we got Greek yogurt, green chili, black beans, chipotle, and then we have 2, 3, 4 different types of meats. That's a lot of nutrients in one, a lot of nutrient variety. And you can get crazy. You can add whatever you want in there. You can add variety of beans or whatever. Whatever's cheap, toss it in there. We're not playing by the rules here. This is like this produced 3,600 calories and 450 grams of protein. You can slice that and dice that in any number of meals you want. 6 meals, 4 meals. Look at all that protein, right? This cost me just the veggies like 17, 16 bucks. All this stuff you see in this picture. And if you combine that with meat, you can have a lot of food and a lot of calories. And you can top this, you can place this with rice. You can mix it with rice. The taste is amazing, right? Is there anything better than chili? I never get sick of it. A lot of meal preps I get sick of. So eggs and rice with soy and Frank's Red Hot or something like this. Big Paul, I want a gym at home, but I can't find a replacement for leg machines. Yeah, squats are fun. Lunges, Bulgarian split squats. And beyond that, it's a lot of, I don't know. Those are your best choices. Amanda P, how to encourage my boyfriend to start lifting? Tell him either he lifts or you're going to find a new boyfriend. Simple as that. Like, we don't have time for weak boyfriends, Amanda. We do not have time. Ain't nobody got time for lazy couch sitting sons of bitches, right? The honest truth is you can't. I was before my current marriage, I was in a relationship for 17 years with someone that had zero fucking skis in their bag about doing any activity. And it was a drag. It was a boat anchor. And if that's important to you, you need to find somebody in your life that likes exercise. You really, really do. You can't motivate people to move or to like things. You can't. Well, the most you can do is try to get them to go on hikes with you or find activities they like. But if they don't like to lift, the odds of getting them interested are pretty low. So I just dumped the bum. Anybody leave your comment down below. Just say dump the bum. Dump the bum. Tell him to watch us. Tell him we're all voting that he's weak, he's soft. You're dumping him. You're not good enough. You're not good enough for Amanda P. Amanda P lifts. You don't lift. You're out of here. You're being replaced. You're being upgraded. Just humor, folks. Victor. Next research will find full body 2 day per week. Every day is the most optimal. Yeah, forget all that stuff, guys. Just stick with the basic pillars of success. LV King. Starting to feel my lower back more and more as I progress in RDL. Should I chill? Send me a video so I can take a look at it from the side. It's a lift that a lot of people rush and don't do correctly. So I'd really like to take a look at it. But if you do have some lower back fatigue, you probably want to chill, maybe deload, drop weight 20% for a week or a month, and let that lower back get healthy. You don't want to push that lower back. Dr. Steve, why am I getting stronger at nearly 50? I peaked around 50. I peaked. I don't know. I just peaked at 50. I was running more. My body was the best. I don't think 50 is that, like, unless, you feel like a lot of, super beat up just from years of self-abuse. I don't think 50 is that bad. Big Troy. Hey, boss, I'm prone to wear and tear injuries at my 50s. What is best? Hitting heavy compounds? What's best is probably weekly and focusing more on dumbbells and machines. You probably want to move away from barbells unless they treat your body good. You probably want to do dumbbells for higher rep work, like 10 reps, 10 rep sets. So you probably the best is machines. Even body weight can beat you up. Things like dips. So you got to find the exercises that don't beat you up and do them for good rep work. Paul X, let's hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate it, Paul. Everybody, please subscribe. Get this old ugly son of a bitch to 100,000 subscribers. Lion Paul, boxing has led me to some serious muscle imbalances. Should I get rid of the main movements and fix the problem first? No, when you have muscle imbalances, you want to train everything. The best way to bring up imbalances is to train everything normally with barbells and dumbbells and machines and body weights, and give it time. And over time, everything will balance out naturally as much as it will or can. Stan, I love this time of the week. Thanks for your support, Stan. If I won $1 million, I'd hire you full time. I appreciate that. I sincerely do. John, the Buffalo, I'm 97. Have you traveled to other countries? I used to spend a lot of time before I met my wife in Canada, Toronto, Hamilton. 3 years ago today, we were packing for Australia. So I spent a good solid 2 weeks in Scotland. I love Scotland. I really do. Not sure about the government, but I love the country. Dr. AJ, Que Chido, hola desde Colombia. Thank you. I believe that says hello. I'm not sure what Deste is from Colombia. I'm not sure what Cheeto is, but maybe you can fill me in. I can catch 60% of the words. With my knee to hip ratio, I'm basically sumo squatting and lean forward a lot. My lower back gives before my quads. That's pretty normal. Should I forsake barbell squats? Well, I would hate to say that without looking at your squat. So if you can get a squat video from behind where I can see your knees and your feet and don't have a shaky cam video, you can upload that on Instagram at Ben the Barman or join Team Massive. You get squat help, you get form help every single week as part of Team Massive. I don't want to blanketly say drop anything, but I'd like to take a look at things. Big Ken Ramsey, what are your thoughts on loop style resistance bands for training strength and mass? I think bands are one of the worst ways to train strength and mass. I really do. They're like the lowest on the food chain. So I'm not saying they can't have some value when implemented correctly, but honestly, no, not a fan of them at all. Harut, should finishers pump work be okay to single joint movements? You can do both. There's times when I would do a finisher with close grip bench presses and I'd do 50 reps total. So as long as the finisher is a weight that's not going to punish you up on a compound, you can definitely do that. Hello, big hairy ugly dude. High bar versus low bar and why? Well, when you start, you want to do high bar just as a starting point and just to see if we can dial you in on high bar and see how that feels. And for some people, you might have to move to low bar, but I like to start everybody on a high bar squat and then go from there. So high bar is definitely the place to start. Low bar, if you've never squatted before, or you don't have your form down, or you don't have some lower back strength built up, it's going to move you forward and it's going to place more stress on your lower back. The lower back is the biggest area of concern when you're building your squats and deadlifts. We need to baby it. We need to baby it and allow it some time to get up to speed. So therefore, high bar squat is the best place to start for most people until we can kind of see how your squat is looking, get your lower back strength up a little bit. Big Robert Anthony, if your training split is enjoyable and progression continues, can you stay? Yeah, you can stay on that sucker for years. I use basically the same program for 2 decades. Absolutely. There's no urgent need to change programs. None at all. You could literally start a program and you could reach max natural potential using that program. I mean, I'm not encouraging you not to evolve your program. Evolving your programming based on needs is something that's integral part of the pillars of success. That's why every lifter, if you look at how they train now, that is a function of injury history and preference. What do I mean? Well, you might not like 6 reps on pendlay rows. You might like 8 reps. That's personal preference. Both are reasonable, right? So evolving your training split, if you start at point A with a program and you kind of evolve things, but you don't leave that program, you might end up on a slightly different destination. But yeah, you can use the same program forever. Shan, what are your thoughts on OHP? A lot of people say that if you flat bench, no, you need your OHP. Those people are not our friends. Those people are not on the common sense boat. Those people are smoking way too much funky stuff laced with other stuff that they shouldn't be lacing it with. They're not our friends. You want to get that overhead press strong. You want to do it with a barbell and dumbbell. That'll help your bench. And man, they've done nothing but help me build monster shoulders. I have attacked barbell and dumbbell presses over the years. They're basically all I did for shoulders, and shoulders are one of my strong points. Those people are not our friends. They are the enemy of massive. Burpees. No exercise in and of itself is pointless. It's just not a muscle building exercise, so we have to understand that, but it is not pointless at all. You just have to do it in its appropriate time and place. Big Robert. I need some. Whoa, what happened there? How do you advise your advice for a beginner in their 40s change? Probably to do a body part split, more recovery, focus on dumbbells and machines out of the gate. Let's spend some time finding, let's assess your injury history, your capabilities. Let's find exercises that feel good for you and kind of go from there. So there'd be a little bit more tweakage, right? You have a lifter in their 40s has a longer history, which just breeds potential for more injuries or lifts they can't do comfortably. So I would not have them rush out to do barbell. That doesn't mean they can't do it, but I would have them focus more on dumbbell and machines, testing the barbells in the periphery. Big Charles Thompson. I'm 6 foot 190, 6'1", 190. My bench max is 275. How can I progress to get stronger? You have a good bench max. I would check out my Super Living Today. I have just search bench in the search button or search area, and you'll find a lot of good information. And I have some bench programs that I put on here, so I would search bench. A lot of good information on here, free information. A lot of good programs on my website. It's going to come down to trying things. And I would probably try to add a little bit of weight over time. With age, we don't want to get too hefty. But I would probably do 10-pound bulks and then maybe mini cuts to try to encourage a little bit of weight gain and a little bit of extra strength gain. Nicholas, if I'm not in calorie surplus, if you're not in a surplus, it's not really going to matter how many days a week you work out. No. It doesn't really matter how many days a week you work out really in general, as long as it fits, your path. Got up to 10 reps with 225 from 60. That's monster. That's a monster jump. Nice work. Stan, I love you. Thank you. And that goes both ways. My love for Stan is endless. Mike, has anything bad ever come from putting in good old hard work? The minimalist approach being spread on the internet is so misleading. Hard work is the key to everything. And the magic key is doing something you don't want to do. Like, look, you don't try to find a way around the mountain. Look, mountain stands before you. You're afraid of the mountain. A lot of things can go wrong. A lot of things can go wrong in a challenge. But if you sit there paralyzed and you don't challenge yourself, you get no reward. You get no growth. And I don't want to be one of these super hypey, guys that you see en masse on Instagram. But that's the reality. You just got to suck it up and you got to go forward. And the rewards of challenging yourself far outweigh the negatives. So what? You get hurt. You got a good story, right? Who cares? That's life. It's experience. Do what you like. Challenge yourself. The greatest, the greatest things I've gotten from life are times when I challenge myself to do ridiculous things. Like I'll just create ridiculous things. Like let's run 52 hours for my 52nd birthday. You know, I'm not special. I just love challenge because, man, I get to look back and say that was fucking spectacular. That was ridiculous. That was fucking awesome. Right? The best thing you can do is put a mountain in your path and just start to climb. Clokill, do micronutrients actually help? Micronutrients help with everything. There's nothing other than micronutrients. Micronutrients are everything. If you just ate Pop Tarts and Ding Dongs and protein shakes, the body's going to break down. You need nutrients, not just calories. Do micronutrients are everything. They're the building blocks. Like the lifting world focuses on calories. Yes, calories are important, but you need micronutrients. Cian, could front squat be a good alternative? Yeah, front squats are fine. Front squats are a little bit more challenging, and a lot of people don't like front squats, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with them if you like them. If I struggle to set up a diet, are you the right man to contact? Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, just first off, you want to start tracking your weight. And then you want to start tracking your calories. Even if your calories, your food choices are crap, track. Just track. So we have two numbers. We can understand calories. We can see kind of where your micronutrients or macronutrients are at, and we can see what the scale is doing. And from there, we can dial things in. Matt, I'm starting to make my own beef jerky. So yeah, don't rule out making some other funky stuff. Check out some of the stuff they have at Force of Nature. You can make some funky jerky combinations. Henry Harry, I keep wanting to say Harry. You mentioned sodium earlier. How much is a good amount daily? Don't overkill it, but add some sodium in your food. If you're going to work out, it's probably a good idea to have a little bit of sodium in the meal that precedes your workout. For me, it's like on the long runs, if I get sodium depleted, I get flat. So I wouldn't say there's a specific amount. I would say I add a little bit to meals because you don't want to avoid it. And I especially make sure I had a little bit of sodium to the last meal prior to my workout, if possible. If I'm starting marathon prep and running 4 days a week, I have decent size in my legs. You're not really going to lose size, man. I didn't lose any size, and I ran like over 5,000 kilometers in the last couple of years. It's hard to lose leg size. The runners have smaller legs because they don't really train legs. MJ254, dump the bum. He doesn't lift, dump him. There's a whole list of guys here waiting for you. They're all stand in line. They lift. Find a lifter. Seriously, what it's about is finding somebody that's motivated in life. It really is. You need a partner that's motivated. If not, your life's going to be hell. Despite regular lifting, good sleep, no alcohol, I still have low tests. It happens. It does. My test levels were, I got tested in 2006. They were 178. Like, how does that happen? I don't know. What am I doing wrong? Some of it can be genetic. I would definitely see a TRT doctor. I'm at 21% body fat, and I've been working out for 10 months. I bench 225 and hope to get to 245. Can I do this at maintenance? It's going to get tough. What I would do, Arush, is check out my book, Bulking. It's a 62-page PDF. And you can find information for free on how it works here on this channel. So just a reminder, guys, last call for questions. We got about 10 left. I would go from I would do bulk and cut cycles where I do 225, or I would try to gain 10 pounds. Your body fat percentage is fine. Okay. You don't really want it to go above 24, 25. But what I would do is gain 10 pounds over 3, 4, 5 months, then do a quick mini cut of 10 pounds, and then return to the 3, 4, 5 month cycle of gaining 10 pounds. This will help you because you'll stay in a bulk about 10 months out of the year. Your body composition will improve over time, and it'll really help you push that bench up. Dr. AJ, you said you spent time in Mexico, New Mexico, sorry. Que Chido, basically, how cool. Hola desde Colombia. Hello from Colombia. That's what I gleaned from hello desde Colombia, from Colombia. But the only word I didn't know was kind of Cheeto. That one threw me off a little bit. CM, your top 3 trap builders. Number 1, deadlifts. Number 2, power shrugs, a lot of volume on power shrugs and static holds. Power shrugs and static holds. And number 3, getting your overhead press strong. That'll help with your traps as well. Sub Max. I'm in a similar situation to what you mentioned in your transformation post. I was full on the powerlifting train. Got up to 293. That's a big total. And I'm down 100. Nice work. Glad to hear it. I love strength training, man. But if I knew then what I know now, I would bulk appropriately, not just for mass, but for strength. I would maintain a better weight while learning how to bulk more, more months out of the year, if that makes sense. Switching over to bodybuilding, how quickly did you regain the muscle loss? I'm going to pull up a photo, okay? And I'm going to explain a few things here. So, where are we at? There we're at. All right, I'll pull this up. I'm going to show you guys what happened and explain a few things. Okay, so I was 346 pounds and I was very, very sick. At the time, I was getting involved with a divorce, and I was moving to South Carolina for work. So I was lifting, but it was a lower intensity period of my life. Okay. So the picture on the left is down 100 pounds from where I started. If you look closely, you can see there's muscle mass there. I would probably need to get about 210 to look really good. My arms are probably 16 inches there. I lost some mass, but I wasn't training with the intensity that I normally did. The picture on the right is after like a year or two of training properly, I gained, 5 to 7 to 10 pounds of mass back. So it came back rather quickly. It really, really did. So it'll come back quickly. My best advice, Submax, one of the hardest things to do after you have lost weight is to learn how to bulk properly. Gain 10 pounds, lose 10 pounds. You got to give yourself some parameters, but a bulk will really, really help you regain it quickly. You just have to try not to gain more than 10 pounds over the course of 3 or 4 or 5 months. Giuseppe, is it a good idea to work out arms on a separate day? It can be. I have a lot of programs like that have kind of a junk day. Like sometimes adding in arms, even on a full body workout or an upper lower or a body part split, it can take up a lot of extra time and you're pretty torched. So there's nothing wrong with an arm day or a junk day. The lure, what is the recommended for protein intake? I think we covered this earlier, but pretty much 170 to 180 during a bulk is a good baseline. You can eat more if you want to. If you like to eat more, 200, 220 is fine. For a cut, you really want to focus on protein as a percentage of your overall macros. So you want to try to get that as close to 35, maybe an upwards of 40% if possible. Air raid band, is not doing deadlifts permissible. Yeah. Squats don't replace them, but barbell rows and dumbbell rows are a great choice. So I didn't deadlift for 20 years. So absolutely. Thanks. These weekly lives are helpful. You guys have been rock stars this week, really. I love the questions. We've been getting a ton of questions. I removed a lot of the filters from the questions, and it seems like a lot more are getting through, so I'm really happy about that. When starting a boat, do you start at maintenance? Well, what I typically do for a client is we guess around what maintenance is, and we run that for 5 to 7 days. We weigh in a lot. We kind of see what their hunger is, and then we make adjustments after where we think that maintenance level is at, if that makes sense. Big Mike, what would you recommend for a set and rep scheme for sissy squats? I like to do rep work. So I would probably start 12 to 15 reps, 3 sets, and just see how that goes. MJ254 just bought your 6-week bench program. Great. Let me know if you have any questions on it. Big Charles Sloan, as an early intermediate, how long should I have to go without adding a rep? If you don't add a rep in 3 or 4 months, then you're in trouble. But if your bench is like 200 by 8 or 180 by 8, if you add a rep every 3 or 4 weeks, that's still 5 pounds to your bench every 3 or 4 weeks, and that's still pretty good progress. So, Max, thanks, Steve. You bet. Feeling small, you'll get there, man. Just let me know if you need help. And Adif, you're welcome. Despite more fitness influences than ever, why do you think obesity rates? It's a good question. It's just really, we have a lot of things working against us. We have like 10 food companies that control, 10 major corporations that control 90% of the food, something like that. And it's not far off. Like PepsiCo owns KFC, owns Doritos, and just a barrage of these highly palatable foods. And there's so much pressure and so much brainwashing. It's just hard. It's hard. It's everywhere. You're in a world that's you're constantly surrounded by shit. And it's hard to resist. I'm not going to say it's easy. It tastes good. It's programmed to taste good. So this is war. The legend. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your support. I'm feeling it takes more this sometimes to progress and lift. Should I continue with this program? Maintenance does nothing for lifting unless you have all the mass and strength you want. Switching exercises, there's only so many good exercises. That's pointless. You can try some new exercises occasionally, but that's pointless. Pause on OHP at the top? No. At the bottom for a brief second if you want. There's no harm to that. All right, guys, that's it. We're out of here. Appreciate you guys joining me. 2 hours and 3 minutes. Please follow me on Instagram at Ben the Barman. Please follow my channel. I'd appreciate it. And if you need anything, a phone consultation, coaching, T-shirts, some whey protein. I'm not trying to be in the protein business, not trying to be in the supplement business, but I got some good products. So I appreciate you guys' support more than anything. It means the world to me to be able to do this for a living. And each and every one of you guys matter. And I could give 8 fucks about being an influencer. So fuck all of them. Let's get big and strong. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And have a good weekend.
It's not almost over. It's not almost over. You're not almost there. You're not almost there. You're not almost there.